So diversity is one of the core values of Rotary, along with friendship, integrity, service, and leadership. Our first expression of diversity in Rotary was the classification system. How many of you remember the classification system? Yes. Which was a way for us to have different professions and vocations represented in our clubs, to provide greater service to our communities, and to provide better understanding of our communities. Now we think of diversity in much different terms, much broader terms, and it encompasses the concept that every individual is unique and that there is strength in recognizing our differences. Diversity, equity, and inclusion at this point in time now includes the recognition of gender, age, sexual preference, even things like accessibility with people who might need hearing support or wheelchair access as some of the items that we would consider in diversity, equity, and inclusion. One of the priorities of Rotary is to grow our membership and diversify our membership, expanding our reach, which will ensure that our clubs reflect our communities and are welcoming and inclusive. This morning you heard President nominee Stephanie, even add the letter B to DEI to include belonging, to emphasize that welcoming feeling that we want in each of our clubs. And certainly you know that President Jennifer has made DEI one of her overarching priorities of this year. One thing we know is true in DEI is that it looks different in different parts of the world. And so today we have a wonderful opportunity to hear from a panel of esteemed individuals who will bring their personal, professional, and lived experience to share with us for our benefit as we explore the topic of DEI in India. And so I'd like to introduce the panelists. First, help me welcome Manvinder Singh, who is the Crown Prince of Rajpipla. He is the 39th direct descendant of the 650-year-old Gohil dynasty. Manvinder is the first member of a royal family to openly come out as gay to the world. He is the only Indian to be interviewed by Oprah Winfrey 3 times, and has also been featured on the show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. That's very cool. He's chairperson and co-founder of the Lecture Trust, dedicated towards empowerment of LGBT community. He is also the brand ambassador of AIDS Healthcare Foundation India Cares, the world's oldest and largest nonprofit for HIV testing and treatment. Currently, he is developing his dream project, a community campus at his royal establishment for the social and financial empowerment of the LGBTQA community. Please help me welcome Manvinder. Next on our panel, it's my pleasure to introduce Arfi Lamba, who is an actor and a producer with many films to his credit, like Prague, Fugly, Sing is Bling, and a German film called Gift. He also co-owns an Indian-German production house called Bombay Berlin Film Productions, whose films have competed in more than 60 international film festivals, including South by Southwest, Tallinn, Toronto, Shanghai, BFI, and more. Their latest production, Radius, won national and state awards and is streaming on Mubi, and their LGBTQ-themed film, Love, was on Netflix for 5 years. Please help me welcome Arfi. And last but certainly not least, Madhura Mundada, who is a student, a writer, a poet, a content creator, all at the age of 19. She's been creating professionally since the age of 16 and is experienced in fiction and nonfiction equally. Madhura is part of the Rotary Club of Ruia College in Mumbai and serves there in that Rotary Club as the International Service Chair and also as the LGBTQ Director for the club. Please help me welcome Madhura. So I think I'll sit here. There's a couple microphones. It's fine, it's fine. So, welcome. So good to have each of you here. I shared a little bit with our audience about your background. But let's take a few minutes and have each of you share a little bit about your personal journey, specifically with respect to this topic of DEI. And so, Manvinder, let's start with you if we could. So, do you want to grab?
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you for the introduction. My journey is too long, but I'll try to be as brief as possible. Born in a golden spoon, and then getting to know that I am different when I was growing up, and not knowing the name for it. I was attracted towards the same sex, and yet I didn't know about my sexuality. Getting married to a princess, getting divorced, and then coming to terms to my sexuality as late as 30 years of age. And then I started the Lakshya Trust, the foundation for the LGBT population in the state of Gujarat. Coming out to parents through a nervous breakdown, parents trying to convert me into becoming straight by medical conversion, religious conversion, coming out of that, and then creating history by becoming the world's first openly gay royal in 2006, and getting thrown out from the palace, getting disowned, disinherited by the family, getting death threats, and then going on Oprah. And so that has been my journey, but the end of the journey has been a success story. It's a happy ending. I have been accepted back by my family, and thank you. And I'm married to an American man, and we are having a lovely, happy married life. Thank you.
Thank you. Arfi, would you like to share a little bit about your personal journey?
For sure, why not? I feel really proud to be a part of this industry right now, where Bollywood has actually stepped up and started making films like Badhailo and Chandigarh Karyashki and many more. When we started our film company, we had no idea, no LGBTQ idea, no slate that we wanted to focus on, but we came across this script. And this was one script that did not contextualize love for the first time. Me and my business partner, she's based in Germany. When we both first read the script for the first time, we were like, but it can happen between two men or two women. This is one script that just goes with the flow and does not focus on the sexuality of the people in the script. I know when we made the film, we were very scared. That was 2015. How the film will be taken, whether we can censor it, whether it will ever get released. So we made it in low budget, secretly, and then we got lucky that Talent Black Nights in South by Southwest in Austin premiered the film. That premiere made sure that Netflix picked up our film. And I'd like to state that, of all the films that we've done, Love is the only LGBTQ title that we have. We've also done one short film other than that. All our films are otherwise heteronormative, and Love is the title that has given us the most respect. We still, Wikipedia this Pride Month, despite the film not being on any platform, covered our film as their homepage. And we keep on receiving a lot of mail from people where the conversations are so heartfelt. I feel that now India is progressing a lot. We've decriminalized homosexuality. There's a long way for us to go to bring these conversations away from Bombay, away from Delhi, into the regular households, in smaller towns where the real India lives. A lot of people, all of you are here. I hope that if you find kids with different sexuality around you, conversations like this, panels like this can make you be more understanding towards your own children, towards kids around you. This is the most important agenda for me to come here and talk also today. Also, I wanted to talk something about Manvinder. The most important work that he does is, often when parents realize in smaller towns that their kids are gay or lesbians or bisexuals, they disown them. A lot of the families in smaller towns are very ashamed of that. He runs an NGO where he picks up those kids who are 19, 18, 17, are struggling with their identity. give them shelter to the point, like it could be 6 months, it could be a year, Manvinder supports them till they can stand on their own feet, find a place in the world. So I think we should have a round of applause for the work that he does. That's amazing. Over to you.
Thank you, Arfi. I want to ask one question, is that can we still find the film Love? You said it was streaming on Netflix, but
We had a license for 5 years. We are putting it back on Amazon and iTunes, and it will be live very soon back again.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Madhura,
Yes. Okay,
so if you could share a little bit about your personal journey.
so my parents both are Rotarians and MOV members. So Rotary was something that I have been a part since a child. Like Saturday nights, okay, we're going to the Rotary thing, and we eat there. I'm not cooking at home is what my mother used to say. So I've seen the work Rotary does and the impact it has on people's lives. When my parents had their presidentship, I was with them as a part, to help them out. If they're donating school bags, I would fill them up with books and pencils. So when they'd go on the project, they could give it to them. I came to my college and there was a Rotary club. I was like, oh yes, this is something I do. Because I've seen it growing up. So I was like, okay, I'll be a part of it. And my club president asked, okay, it's been 10 years of RCVA. This is the 11th year and we want to start a new avenue called the LGBTQI plus cell. Would you like to be a part of it? Would you like to chair it? I was like, okay. She's like, but people can assume that you are from the community. I was like, I think everyone is from the community. If you can love, everyone is from the community because if you have the ability to love. So I was like, okay, and I'm so grateful for Rotary because I come from small town India, a city called Puliz, where people don't know what LGBTQ means, where they do not even have an idea that it's not just an acronym. And through Rotary, in my college, I started a support help group called Queer Kahaniya, and I have 50 queer identities showing up every month just because they feel at home in that 1 hour of that day. So I'm very grateful to be a part of this institution, and I'm looking forward to making such more changes.
Thank you, Madhura. I think you should model your pants. Tell us about your pants.
So I doing these new jeans, and my mom was like, you still have to wear it because I purchased it. So I was like, okay, I'll make something out of it, and I painted all of the things here on it are the things that I believe in or I want to contribute all around the pants. So this was my 19-year-old birthday gift to myself.
It's almost a 7 areas of focus.
Yes,
Piece of clothing, yes. I love
it has the pride flag, equality, and humans we are, humans we be.
Thank
Mental
you.
health.
Very creative, very creative.
Thank you.
So let's go to the next question. We'll start with you, Madhura, since you have the microphone. You've talked a little bit about how you support marginalized populations. So what is the action that you see moving forward? What is the action that you would like to take moving forward to support DEI and any marginalized populations?
The next action I would like to take is, let's start educating at young levels. Let's bring it in the school syllabus. Let's let people know that there is something like that. Because as I said, I come from a small town. We do not have anything of this. We have no resources. We know nothing. If 2 years back you would have asked me something on diversity, I would have been point blank because I don't know. I don't have the exposure. So I would suggest we start educating at a young level so people know what it is, so they can find out more about it.
Thank you very much. Arfi, how about you? What action moving forward to support marginalized populations?
I think it's 2022, and like I said, Bollywood is doing films. When you do a Bollywood film with mainstream actors, often LGBTQ community, because I end up going on panels, meeting the community here, there, people end up saying that, but they've projected us in a cliched manner. My response always is that at least they've made a mainstream movie with 2 mainstream actors. Your parents will go and watch. Somebody from your family will go and watch because it's a mainstream action actor. And once that happens, these conversations come to our drawing rooms. I feel that cinema has amazing reach. I think we should empower stories like that. I think the primary aim would be, once the discussion reaches your drawing rooms, you all should talk about it. the support for the community, or the support for any change that happens at grassroots levels. And for India, the grassroots levels stay the drawing rooms of middle class households like us. That's where these things will happen and change. For us as a company, we feel that Government of India has decriminalized homosexuality. They are pretty. I would say that they could be seen as from any other lens as right or left wing, but as far as the community goes, they've been very supportive. They have been pretty clear about the policy that you can make the films you want to make, you can do the things that you want to do, support groups are flourishing, funds are coming, things are happening. India is on the, if I'm right, with this young generation, almost on the brink of spreading this kind of information knowledge everywhere. And I think that's great. We are in 2022, hopefully by 2024, we'll have many more changes and many more movies coming all over the place.
And the grassroots level in Rotary is our clubs.
Yes. I mean, like she said, for us, we stay in Bombay and we make films. For us, we make one LGBTQ film for maybe 5 years. But for organizations like Rotary, which has reaches in the inner sectors of India, these conversations, these panels, these discussions are very, very important. You are flag bearers and you should become the flag bearers for this community also in carrying these conversations forward. That will be amazing.
Thank you, Arfi.
Thank you.
Manvinder, actions moving forward. What would you say?
Yeah, see, I believe in solutions to problems, to issues. So I worked my way, as I mentioned, I was put in the worst situation. I mean, imagine getting death threats, sacrificed my life for the larger cause. And yet I came out of it. And that happened because of advocacy. I used my position to do the international advocacy, and as we saw the hoarding before this, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is a very old Sanskrit saying, and I firmly believe in that because it means the whole world is one family. So I do not restrict myself to India. I have been going globally. I have been meeting a lot of world leaders, prime ministers, presidents, United Nations officials. We need to spread the word. Whether it is LGBT rights, whether it's human rights, whether it's HIV, whether it's COVID, it's environmental issues, we all need to come together and fight and to get justice, to get the people whose human rights are getting violated, maybe the marginalized populations, they may be from any race, any religion, any minority, whether they are women, they are animals. So I like to be inclusive. I like to get everyone, I like to include, so I do not even call myself as an LGBT rights activist, I call myself as a human rights activist. And that goes very much in the lines of what Rotary Club is doing. I am kind of very much doing what the Rotary Club is doing internationally, and I have been successful in that. So yes, that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Madhura, you are a Rotaractor, and Rotaractors have gender parity, where Rotary clubs do not yet. So what would you say about that? What would you say about the gender parity issue in our organization?
About the gender issues, the thing is we've been told so much that this gender does these things, these gender does these things, the gender roles. And I'd say in the females, why they're not taking up bigger positions or coming up to Rotaries, because we have this internalized patriarchy in ourselves. Like I will feel, oh, I can't because that's a man's job. So that is too much, and I would want more and more women to know it is everyone's job to serve your community. And I think it's important to understand that it is not about gender roles, but it is about making a change, making an impact, and standing up for what is right.
Would you agree that it's everyone's job to serve humanity? That was beautiful. Anything to add, Arfi?
We were talking backstage that, like Manvinder said, it's not about LGBTQ rights only, it's about everything that India is lacking. We are supposed to be, and we are right now also considered to be the next superpower. In next 20 years, we are being considered as the third biggest economy. That is not going to happen if we are not inclusive, if we don't have the women participation at the right levels. That will not happen if we create, like, we have panels in India, but they're all panels. If only men sit on decision-making bodies, if women are not allowed to participate and put back, it's not going to happen. We need to have diversity and inclusion, not just from the point of view of one community, but from the point of view of humanity, like you said. And the panel is about inclusion, and I saw a lot of great, wonderful women in Rotary participating. Though I still felt, I don't know if I'm speaking and shooting off the lip, though I still feel more participation would make it more better and more organized and really, really wonderful. So that's one thing that you can start here. Also, I wanted to say something. If we are talking about LGBTQ panels and kids here, if there's a kid around you, especially if it's your own kid who wants to go in a different path, in India, I've seen Indian parents can give everything for their kids. They'll give them the house, the money, get them married to the best places, fight for their jobs. But the moment a kid comes out and says, I'm sexually divergent, I am gay, I am lesbian, parents shut off from the kid. That is also the happiness of your child. People are born a certain way. Let's start accepting that, the change happens from home. I came here and I sat down here, I was very happy knowing that district governors of Rotary are going to be there, This is the message that you should take back to your clubs, to your district centers and, propagate this. Because forget about working for the community, let's work for the kids back home in our backyards, those who are hiding from us, those who are not open. That's where the revolution will start. Thank you.
Yeah, see, I totally agree to what Madhura and what Arfi has mentioned. And see, we are all here. There are, as there are district governors, there are senior Rotary officers here. So what we need to go back and take back from this 2 or 3 days is that we need to break the silence and we need to talk. That's what I did. If I would have just kept quiet, then nothing would have happened. The laws in India would not have changed. Homosexuality would still be criminal. But we need to break the silence. We need to talk about the subjects which are existing in our society, but people are not talking about it. And one of the things is sexuality. One of the things is for women empowerment. I'm very happy to see today Jennifer is here as an empowered woman, and I wish that we have some more empowerment in India with women. We need that. I fully support that. And we need to break a lot of stereotypes. We need to break a lot of taboos and stigma and discrimination and go on the path of equality. And we need to mainstream our issues. That's very important. So with all these things, we have to go back and we have to start our work. And I think nothing better than that could be achieved by the Rotary Club. I have very high hopes on the Rotary, and I'm sure we will be able to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Manvinder. There was a Women in Rotary event yesterday, and it was interesting because the women said they felt empowered, but they needed encouragement. So I throw that out as a challenge to everyone here, that you have incredible women leaders, that you're not taking advantage of their skills and their talents. And think how much further we could be in this world if we use all of our problem solvers, all of us working together. So that was an editorial comment there. So let's connect this back to Rotary. You're with a large group of influential Rotary leaders here. What more could Rotary do in diversity, equity, and inclusion that you can see?
One of the really good things Rotary can do, because you guys have a lot of volunteers and you train. Those kids get trained when they handle an event of this level. Those kids can put that on their resume. I would say that reach out to organizations like Humsafar and others, where there are ostracized trans kids looking for experience, to some events, to work. And they are very willing, very hardworking kids, Look out for the gay and lesbian kids who've been thrown out from their families, and maybe working with Manvinder, Humsafar organization is there. Get those kids to manage, train them along with other kids. Include them. You will see their hard work. It will add to their own profiles. So it's both ways will be a great exchange. Rotary wants to do that. Rotary can include that. That will be a great thing to do. And other than that, like I said, back home, there are governors, district governors here. So everybody should probably, like there's a club here. Everybody should have a club for LGBTQ kids, for those who need to have discussions, guidance, advice. it's available, you know, there's enough information available just on the internet. If only all parents go back and study about this, they will have a lot more information to tell their kids only. Also, there's Manvinder, there are parents, and there are people, there are organizations ready to come for free to advise, to guide, to direct kids in the right direction if they are facing any problem with respect to their careers, or there are any kind of ostracization they are facing, or they are having issues with their sexuality, not understanding, they are confused. All of that is available. Rotary governors should try to do something. I'm sure that, you know, many organizations will tie up and jump, and this will become a huge agenda. Rotary will also benefit from this, and many more kids on grassroots levels will benefit from that. That's my suggestion, small suggestion.
Thank you.
I guess my suggestion is that the younger generation, the Gen Zs, we know what LGBTQI plus means, we know what female empowerment is. I would like every one of you all, our elder generation, our parents, Rotary, to take a moment and understand what they are. Because we know, we have found out, we are questioning ourselves. But when we do have an answer, all we need is love and support from you all. And if you all are well aware about it, if you all are well informed about it, I think the change will have a bigger impact. I think it's important not just to let kids know what LGBTQI plus means or diversity means, but also the elder generation, our parents, to understand and know so we can connect better. And I just want that nobody else gets more death threats later on in life, and you know, their parents don't shut them off.
Thank you. Manvinder, would you like to weigh in?
He's saying ask for money. Anyway, yeah, that's of course important. Money is always important. We just had a money session before we had our session. But anyway, jokes apart, I think Rotary is doing a wonderful thing. I was talking with a friend of mine, Brian, and a friend of Jennifer and Vicky as well. I did a session with the Rotary Club in United States and Canada just a month ago, and I was telling the members of the Rotary Club that we need to now form a club exclusively for the issues of the LGBTQIA+, to understand their issues, to bring forth activists, and to get people to spread the word. And because education, as Madhura mentioned and as Arfi also mentioned, that is the root cause of all the issues. I have actually coined the word educated illiterate. I'm sorry to say, most of you all here must be educated, but a lot of you may be illiterate with regards to our issues. So we need to bring you to the level of literacy, and that can happen with people like us. We are there to help you out, to educate you, to bring you to that level. And I think that's what will bring about inclusiveness, that's what will bring about diversity, that's what will bring about equality and empowerment and all these things which we are talking about today. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Did you have something else? Oh, okay. Oh, yes. So I was going to say, let's thank our panelists for being so open with their life experiences, with their ideas. Very much appreciated. I would just end with, imagine a world where everyone can be their authentic self and live a life of dignity and respect. Thank you.